it is a waste. The $250,000 that is going into this lawsuit, and there'll be much more if Sub chooses to appeal this and go forward. But that is money that could go directly toward reliability improvements, safety improvements, keeping your rates down. If you look at the two sides, there really is, I think, no comparison when it comes to our financial history. So we haven't raised rates in almost 5 years. We're very proud of that fact. We've done a lot to manage our costs and keep them under control and keep rates down for customers. The other side, Sub, as I mentioned, is really doing this in a bit of desperation. They've raised rates for 9 years in a row, and they've said, again, this is all public through court documents, that their costs are going up and they have nowhere to spread those costs around. So rather than dealing with that, they're just attempting to instead come and try to steal our customers because they see that we are growing, we are financially sound, we have good infrastructure, and I'm sorry, but that's just not our problem over at EPUD. We're trying to do the best thing by our customers. We're willing to be good neighbors, but we're not going to put Sub's problems on the back of our own customers.
Right, and as you point out, I mean this kind of maybe sounds a little bit self-serving from the EPUD point of view, but as you pointed out a few minutes ago, Kyle, this is hitting the Sub board and their customers just as much, if not more, as it's hitting you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, they haven't made public what they've spent, but one would think it's got to be comparable to us. Mm-hmm. And, they are under financial constraints over there. And, a lot of their infrastructure is due for improvement, and there's certainly ways that they could be spending that money, one would think, much more efficiently.
Mm-hmm. So, any sense of what they think may have changed? I mean, desperation aside, the Supreme Court made it pretty clear back in 2005 that this was not something that was a legitimate cause. Why should they think anything's going to be different this time around? Should they decide to appeal the decision?
Well, I think their general manager has always felt that decision was wrongly decided. I don't know where he got his law degree, but that's been his line over the years. And so I think he's always been waiting to take another shot at this. And he found some fancy attorney up in Portland that's identified a different area of the law that they feel like they can try to exploit. Our attorneys are very confident. They think that the law is absolutely on our side here. Again, we've already won at the trial court level. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we did get a verdict on this first round last month in January. The circuit court judge here in Lane County, after we briefed it, we had an oral hearing. She ruled in January favorably for us. So they said again, right, Sub has no authority to come here and try to do what they're doing. And so, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to mention another interesting little wrinkle in this whole thing. By the way, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with EPUD General Manager Kyle Roadman, and I don't think I've given the phone number out yet, so if you do want to pose a question, you're welcome to join us, 541-942-5548. But Kyle, another interesting wrinkle, at least from my perspective, kind of poking around and researching this over the last few days, is that the Sub actually went to the City of Springfield. They went to the mayor, they went to the city manager, they went to the council, and they asked for the City of Springfield's blessing, and the City of Springfield told them, nope, we think this is a bad idea. Don't pursue this.
That's right. It's rather absurd, and the back and forth that we've had with both Sub and the city on this is a little exasperating. Exasperating. We've talked to the Springfield mayor, the members of the city council, and they basically have tried not to get involved over the last couple of months here as the courts, brought their ruling down. But what they have told us in private is that, the general manager over there at Sub and, their board president had a meeting, and we have this again through court documents as well, who was at the meeting, what was discussed, and Sub has a 3 or 4 page rationale that they put out there that said, here's why we want to do this. And it's really based around, financial motives. We need to find a way to spread our costs around because they're increasing, and we have no way to keep our rates down if we can't find more customers. And so, you can imagine as a mayor and a city councilor, that doesn't seem like a very neighborly thing to do. And what they have said in private is that they told Sub that they thought this was a bad idea, and that they refused to provide any form of either explicit or tacit support for their actions. And so it appears you have this absurd situation where the utility board went to court against the wishes of their own city council. And all we're asking for the city council to do is to come out and just express this publicly. We think that would go, a long way towards shutting this whole thing down if they would make their position clear.